Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. Welcome. Well, we're going to be entering earnings season. It's going to be on the 13th. They're going to start out with the banks. They always do that so they can rig the market. Now, we're going to have a very ugly earnings season. And let me tell you why. Because they're going to show that the last quarter of 2021, we were up in profits 31%. The last quarter of 2022, we're minus 4%. Oh, but don't worry. The analysts are going to come up with a story to say that's a good thing. It proves the bottom is in. They're going to play the estimate game, just like Bob Pisani did on the wages. Remember this?
Wages grew 4.6% year over year versus 5% expected.
Yeah, wages grew 4.6%, but we expected it to be at 5. Wow, that's good. They really cooled off. What? What are you, nuts? Who expected it to be at 5%? They did. That's their own estimate, the BLS. They put that estimate in. But the fact is this, they cherry-picked. If they went back 144 contiguous months, we're at 2.3%. 2.3% wages. That was the increase. 144 contiguous months. But they didn't want to tell you that. So they played the estimate game. Well, they're going to do the same thing with earnings. Now, let me show you something. Let's take a look at this chart right here. This is the interest. Now, if I take the last quarter, here, let me just fix this here. If I take the last quarter of 2022, you'll see the interest rates were nearly at zero. 2021, interest rates were near zero. Okay, 0.08%. Now, if we start taking the last quarter of 2022, right here, interest rates were at that point between 3 and 4%. Wow. I've been telling everybody that the corporations are in deep trouble, that only 25% of the S&P 500 companies are participating in profits. 75% aren't. Why? Because they've been borrowing money for 13 years free. When you go from 0 to 4%, you're in deep trouble. They know this. But they're going to use this as a spin. They're going to spin this to say, wow, we're now down 32% compared to the 2%. So that means the bottom's got to be in. That's what they're going to spin, just like the banks. They're going to spin those. When banks come in with terrible earnings, what do? They're the only corporations that can pull money from their set-aside for bad loans and shift it to the bottom line. Yeah. So if their bottom line is supposed to be $2 million, it's only coming at $1 million, they just go and take J.P. Morgan or anything. They just go take their set-aside and shift $1 million or even 2 or 3 over to make, oh, hey, look at this. We're up 3 million earnings or 4 million, not the million. So that's what they're going to do. So now there's another big problem they have in this quarter, why we're going to be down 30%. Take a look at this chart over here. On this chart, this red line represents the dollar. Do you remember how the dollar was going straight up? It was amazing. We were all amazed. In that last quarter, the dollar was going straight up. And when the dollar goes up, earnings go down. It always is that way. Dollar up, earnings down. So what you're going to see is what contributed to this terrible decline in earnings of 31% in profits is because the dollar also was going up, killing earnings. Look at that, killing earnings. And that's the way it works, okay? So we also have that problem besides going from 0.08 to 3.5 to 4%. So it's going to be interesting to see. Are they going to try to now convince everybody, as they did? Remember, on Friday, they convinced everybody that 4.6%, that wasn't a hot number. Wages going up 4.6 was cooling off. Well, guess what? Yesterday, instead of having a 700-point rally, we were negative. We turned negative on the Dow. So not everybody was buying into that when they finally start to think about it. And I don't think everybody's going to start buying into these earnings either. It's a good thing the bottom is in. This may be the first time. Stock market always rallies going to earnings. This may be the first time it won't. Hope this helps you understand what we're facing for earnings. That's why you got to know how to short. Join my gang. Learn how to short stocks. See you on the charts.